Our humble pranams to the dignitaries on and off the dais. Welcome to Shastra Ramanujan Award Presentation Ceremony on the third and the final day of the 19th International Conference on Srinivasa Ramanujan. There is something very specifically exciting about the congregation of mathematicians. Mathematics, the queen of all sciences, is not a spectator sport. It is not just about numbers, equations, computations, or algorithms. Mathematics is science of infinite, music of reason. It's the most beautiful and the most powerful creation of the human spirit. That's perhaps one of the reasons why Shastra organizes this international conference every year in the month of December. The session begins with invocation. Prayer honors God, acknowledges His being, exalts His power, adores His providence, secures His aid, defeats the devil of ignorance, strengthens the mind with knowledge, accomplishes what is impossible, and above all, helps us know the will of God. May I now call upon Master Rohit to sing a song in prayer, and I do request the audience to stand in devotional silence.
मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजयत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजयत्रीम् आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत परेष्वक्रममाक्रमणम् त्यजत परेष्वक्रममाक्रमणम् मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजयत्रीं जननी पृथ्वी कामदुःखास्ते जननी पृथ्वी कामदुःखास्ते जनको देवः सकलदयालु जनको देवः सकलदयालु धाम्यतदर्थ दयध्वं जनथ धाम्यतदर्थ दयध्वं जनथ श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां
May I request Dr. S. Swaminathan, Dean Planning and Development, Shastra deemed to be University, to welcome the guest and the gathering.
Distinguished Chief Guest, Dr. Ramaswamy, award winners, Professor Alladi, ladies and gentlemen who are gathered today on the occasion of the presentation of the Shastra Ramanujan Award for the year 2023. It gives me very pleasant memories. Like 20 years ago, in 2003, when we had the first Ramanujan conference, it was inaugurated by none other than Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as the President of India at Kumbakonam. And subsequently, in 2004, when the second conference was held, it was also discussed and decided that Shastra would institute this Shastra Ramanujan Award for mathematicians under the age of 32 with a prize money of $10,000. At the time, we requested Professor Alladi to chair the prize committee, and it was our good fortune that he agreed, and he continues to chair the award committee as well. So this continuing legacy of Shastra in terms of bringing forward the works of Ramanujan through maintaining of the house as an international museum, or the museum that's available in campus, these annual events that happen every December, and also the subsequent workshops and symposiums that also take place throughout the year. This reinforces our strong commitment towards strengthening basic sciences, especially mathematics, in the forefront of the other sciences as well. It's also a good fortune today to have Dr. Ramasamy, who served as the Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, who was earlier the Director of one of the biggest CSIR labs, the CLRI in Chennai. A chemical engineer who did his PhD from University of Leeds in UK, postdoc from Ohio State and Wayne State University, came back to India to lead one of the best CSIR labs in the country. And that too at the toughest times, where there were a lot of problems with pollution and bringing in cleaner, greener processes into the leather processing itself. So he pioneered it, and he also brought out a vision document in 2005 as to how the leather industries and leather processes should take place in the entire country. Subsequently, he took over as the Secretary of Department of Science and Technology, where he brought in new dimensions of scientific research that affects or brings or influences people not only engage in cutting edge science, but he was also bringing in or for also nurturing science from the school level. In fact, he was the person who brought in the Inspire program, who brought in the policy document, wherein a lot of students, right from high school students up to faculty who are returning from the US and other countries to take up faculty positions as Inspire faculty in some of the premier institutes in the country. So his vision has always been, bringing in science into everybody's life, starting from school kids up to people at the faculty level. So it's an honor to have you here, sir, on this momentous day. And in fact, as secretary, he ensured that December 22nd is in fact celebrated as National Mathematics Day. So the credit of today, we celebrating Ramanujan's birthday usually as also being recognized by the government as National Mathematics Day. He brought in as a secretary in 2012. So thank you very much for being with us today, sir. My special welcome to Professor Alladi, who's always been a part of Shastra family in terms of strengthening the work that we've been doing, providing us with very critical suggestions as to how do we improve the quality, how do we make certain processes so that things move forward to the next level, and the support that he has provided the last 20 years. The first time I made a call in 2003 while I was in Virginia, and then we were in touch, and last 20 years, I have the opportunity of interacting with him, kind of interactions that we had, kind of scientists, the amount of enthusiasm and involvement that he shows in bringing in, people from across the country to a place like Kumbakonam, which is not, well connected. If you cannot fly too much, there's no airport in Kumbakonam, you'll have to drive so long. And, there are so many other issues, but then he makes this pilgrimage, to Kumbakonam every year himself, along with, a group of very accomplished mathematicians from India, and also from outside India. And we thank you very much, and I welcome you to this to 2023 award function, sir. I also welcome the award winners, the 22 award winner, Dr. Tang, and the 2023 award winner, Dr. Zhang, who are with us today. And welcome all the distinguished speakers of the conference, students, my faculty colleagues, and my friends from the press and the electronic media. Thank you very much.
Dr. T. Ramaswamy, former Secretary DST, Government of India, New Delhi, our distinguished chief guest, will now be honored with a memento by Dr. S. Swaminathan. May I now invite Professor Krishnasamy Aladi, University of Florida, USA, and Chairman Sastra Ramanujan Award Committee to read out the citation for Dr. Yongqing Tang. Once the citation is read out in full, I request our distinguished chief guest to honor the winner of Sastra Ramanujan Award for 2022 with the $10,000 and the citation.
Respected Dr. Ramaswamy, Dean Swaminathan of Shastra, Dean Ramaswamy of Shastra, our two brilliant prize winners, Doctors Yongqing Tang and Ramanujan Zhang, distinguished speakers of the conference, faculty, friends. Before reading the citation, I will say something brief about the work of the two winners. But before describing the work of the winners, permit me, Dean Swaminathan, to just spend a few minutes, not long, to say something as to how this award was instituted. He was a little too modest about the generosity of Shastra that led to this award. Now, some of you may have heard the story. Definitely the faculty of Shastra have heard me tell the story many times, but a good story can be told many times. But there are new persons, Dr. Ramaswamy in particular, so I think it's good to mention this, how this happened. So as Dean Swaminathan said, 2003 was the first Ramanujan conference. And that was when the President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, came and he declared open Ramanujan's home as a national museum. And my association with Shastra began in 2003, and with a phone call from, at that time, graduate student, PhD student, Swaminathan. I think it was in Virginia, right? And then he called me, and so that's how the association started. But the genesis of this award goes to the second conference in 2004. I was asked to inaugurate the conference, and I gladly agreed. And on the opening day, it was the lighting of the lamp. I was walking up to the stage along with the Vice Chancellor at that time, Professor Sethuraman, the father of Dean Swaminathan and the present Vice Chancellor, Vaidya Subramanian. And I was walking up to the stage. Professor Sethuraman, in low tones, told me, "Professor, I want to set apart $10,000 annually for a good cause in the name of Ramanujan. When you give your speech, please just say how it should be done and we'll do it." See, I mean, the individual is just saying, you tell us and then we'll just do it right away. No committees, nothing. So as I was lighting the lamp and the others were lighting the lamp, I whispered into his ear and I said, "You mean to say you don't want any committees? You just want me to say something?" And he said, "Yeah, committees means there will be disagreements. It'll cost time, delay. You just say in what way it should be used and we'll do it." Now, my friends from abroad, I usually tell them that the Indian inaugural ceremonies are elaborate. So I had a full 15 minutes to think about this before I was asked to speak. There were other things going on. So when I was asked to speak, I said we should have a prize in the name of Ramanujan, annual prize, but it must be an international prize, not a national prize. And we'll put an age limit of 32 for two reasons. One, Ramanujan lived for 32 years and accomplished so much, so it's a challenge to these young mathematicians what you can do in that same time span. And the second thing is, we'll be giving the prize much earlier compared to other well-established prizes. It's easier to put a crown on somebody's head, a Shastra crown, for somebody who's won the Fields Medal or somebody who's won the Nobel Prize. It's more difficult to identify these people at a very young age, and they later go on to win the Fields Medal. So that's more difficult. So I said, we'll take it up as a challenge and we'll do this. Then the Vice Chancellor followed me and he said, I endorse this suggestion and the prize will be given starting next year. And then he just turned towards me and said, Professor, you chair this committee. So that's how I got involved with Shastra and this, but it is completely the generosity of Professor Sethuraman. So it was the spontaneity with which this was done, and that's how the prize was launched. So it's now a world famous prize. And our prize winners have gone on to win other prizes with an established tradition, either without an age limit or a higher age limit. Fields Medal has 40, so they won Fields Medals. I think 5 to 6 have won the Fields Medal. But there are other prizes also, Cole Prize of the American Math Society, Infosys Prize, so on and so forth. So anyway, so that's the background. And for me, it's a pleasure to be here. It's really a pilgrimage. I come here every December for Ramanujan's birthday. I get invitations to speak about Ramanujan on December 22nd. I flatly refuse and I say I have to be here at Shastra. So if they arrange it at some other time in December, yes, but not on December 22nd. So let me say something about the work of Professor Tang, who was the winner of the 2022 prize. She is one of the leading young number theorists in the world today, and her work is at the intersection of arithmetic geometry and number theory. She received her PhD in 2016 under the supervision of Mark Kissin at Harvard University. And her thesis was published in this very prestigious journal called Compositio Mathematica. And it established a special case of a well-known conjecture called the August conjecture concerning cycles in cohomology of abelian varieties. Her more recent joint work with an Indian mathematician, Anand Shankar, who graduated out of CMI, by the way, in the Duke Mathematical Journal is a very striking piece of work. I just want to say as a background, we have all heard about the infinity of primes, the famous conjecture that there are twin primes, but we don't know whether there are infinitely many of them. That's because the twin primes are sparse within the set of primes. So that's my next comment. There are really not many theorems, in fact, very few theorems in number theory which establish the infinitude of sparse set of primes. A key prototype is a theorem of Noam Elkies, who was here for the 2003 conference, showing that supersingular primes for an elliptic curve over the rationals, there are an infinity of them. Anand Shankar and Tang show that for any abelian surface with real multiplication, there are infinitely many primes with a property called split reduction. In a follow-up paper with Maulik and Anand Shankar again, Tang establishes a similar result in what is called a function field setting. So this is something that number theorists do. They take a result in a classical setting and then obtain a function field analog. And her most recent work, again with Anand Shankar, but his other brother, Arul Shankar and Tayu, they prove an analog of this in the setting of K3 surfaces. These ideas are expected to lead to major progress in the future. The most recent work of Tang, in collaboration with Frank Caligari and Vasilin Dimitrov on modular equations, is of tremendous significance, and that is actually directly linked to Ramanujan. So I'll just say briefly what it is. In the theory of elliptic integrals, there is a very important parameter called the modulus. The modular equation is an algebraic polynomial equation that involves the moduli of two related elliptic integrals. Modular equations were of special interest to Srinivasa Ramanujan, and he actually discovered several modular identities, and in that process, this thing led to new algebraic functions. Large portions of Ramanujan's notebooks are devoted to explicit modular equations, which then yield nice examples of algebraic functions. It turns out that algebraic functions in the ring of power series with integer coefficients can be lifted to the extended complex plane, minus 3 points, and they always arise as special cases of these modular curves, namely from those of the holomorphic type considered by Ramanujan. Now you turn around this problem, then one finds that holomorphic functions with algebraic or rational coefficients that are invariant under a certain congruent subgroup are classical modular functions with remarkable property that the denominators of the coefficients are always bounded in their power series expansions. So a famous conjecture, long-standing conjecture of Atkin and Swinnerton Dyer is that if these algebraic functions are not invariant under these congruent subgroups, then the denominators should be unbounded. So this unbounded denominators conjecture has been brilliantly proved by Professor Tang in collaboration with Caligari and Dimitrov. So that's the link with the work of Ramanujan. In summary, Professor Tang's work displays a remarkable combination of sophisticated techniques in which algebraic and arithmetic and geometry of modular curves and Shimura varieties play a central role. And her methods and results are bound to have a major impact on future research. She hails from China, completed her BSc in 2011 at Peking University, and then went to Harvard University for a PhD. She then was a postdoctoral member at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton in 2016-17, and also had an instructorship at Princeton University 2017 to 20. She was in the CNRS in Orsay, France, before joining the University of California at Berkeley as an assistant professor in July 2022. And now I'll read the citation, and I'm going to request Dr. Ramaswamy to present the award. So here's the citation. Yangqin Tang is awarded the 2022 Shastra Ramanujan Prize for having, I've finished reading it, let them stand there, is awarded the 2022 Shastra Ramanujan Prize for having established by herself and in collaboration a number of striking results on some central problems in arithmetic geometry and number theory. The prize notes that her works display a remarkable combination of sophisticated techniques in which arithmetic and geometry of modular curves and Shimura varieties play a central role and have strong links with the discoveries of Srinivasa Ramanujan in the area of modular equations. The prize recognizes her important 2016 PhD thesis at Harvard, in which she established a new special case of the August conjecture. The prize also recognizes her striking recent joint work with Anand Shankar in the Duke Mathematical Journal, where any abelian surface with real multiplication is shown to have infinitely many primes with split reduction. The prize also recognizes more recent work with Maulik and Anand Shankar regarding this, where Tang establishes these results in a function field setting. In two further recent joint papers, the first in Forum Mathematica, Arul Shankar, Anand Shankar, and Salim Tayu, Dr. Tang proved analogous theorems in the K3 surfaces, and the second with Devesh Maulik in Invenciones Mathematica, she established a function field analog of the K3 surface setting as a result. The prize notes that the ideas in this quartet of papers are expected to lead to major further work. Finally, the prize recognizes the spectacular recent achievement of Dr. Tang in collaboration with Frank Caligari and Vasil Dimitrov, resolving a long-standing unbounded coefficient conjecture of Atkin and Swinnerton Dyer. The study of algebraic functions that are related to moduli of elliptic curves stems from Ramanujan's own investigation and the plethora of beautiful modular identities that he discovered.
May I now request Dr. Tang, University of California, USA, to deliver her acceptance speech.
It is really a great honor for me to receive the prize on Ramanujan's birthday and in his hometown. And I would like to thank Sastra University and the prize committee for their recognition of my work that played a very important role in my career, and I really appreciate that. I would like to thank my mentors and collaborators. Without their mathematical influence and encouragement, I wouldn't reach this far today. And in the end, I would like to say that I have enjoyed my visit to the Sastra University and Ramanujan's hometown, and it's so impressed and amazing to see all the temples and the schools, home, and college where Ramanujan spent his time at this place. And this is a true honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. I invite the Chairman, Sastra Ramanujan Award Committee, Professor Krishnaswamy Aladi, to present the citation for 2023 Sastra Ramanujan Award winner, Dr. Ramanujan Zhang.
Again, I'll quickly describe the work of Professor Zhang and then read the citation. Dr. Ramanujan Zhang is a brilliant young mathematician whose fundamental work spans several areas: analytic number theory, combinatorics, Euclidean harmonic analysis, and geometry. Building on his Princeton PhD thesis, Zhang, in collaboration with Xiaoming Guo, with many novel insights, proved a multivariable generalization of the main conjecture in Vinogradov's mean value theorem. So just for a minute, I'll tell you what that theorem is about. The original conjecture proved by Trevor Woolley in degree 3 and Bourgain, Demeter, and Guth in general was concerned with asymptotically sharp bounds for the number of solutions to a system of Diophantine equations involving power sums being equal. Such bounds were used in the application of the Hardy-Littlewood variant of the Hardy-Ramanujan circle method to Waring's problem on expressing non-negative integers as sums of kth powers. Likewise, the Guo-Zhang multivariable generalization gives bounds on the number of solutions to Parcel-Vinogradov system, more generally, to Parcel-Vinogradov systems of Diophantine equations. And this has many new applications, to counting linear subspaces lying on a hypersurface, to expressing homogeneous forms as sums of powers of linear forms, and to bounding short mixed character sums. This work has appeared in Invenciones in 2019 and is considered a major achievement. While working on his thesis, Zhang branched out to work in restriction theory in Fourier and classical harmonic analysis, where Bourgain and Demeter were making major progress by creating a new direction of research called decoupling theory. Zhang contributed to solving two long-standing problems in restriction theory. First problem, Carlson's problem on pointwise convergence of solutions to the Schrödinger equation, which is in physics, and the two-dimensional case of Sauge's local smoothing conjecture for wave equations. So very briefly, in 1979, Carlson raised the question of determining the exact range of the Sobolev exponent in n-dimensional space for which every solution to the Schrödinger equation converges to the initial data as the time tends to 0. Zhang, in a fundamental 2019 paper in the Annals of Mathematics in collaboration with Jiumin Du, introduced novel techniques tailored to this problem and settled the question on all dimensions, avoiding the use of partitioning method, which had appeared to be a very fundamental tool needed for this solution. The local smoothing problem was raised by Christopher Sauge in the early 1990s. If we have bounds on some Sobolev norms of the initial data, what bounds can we conclude on the Sobolev norms of the solution? Again, in a paper in the Annals of Mathematics in 2020, Zhang, Larry, Guth, and Wang solved this problem in 3 dimensions, and Zhang played an important role in finding the correct generalization so that the method of induction can be applied. In summary, Zhang is an original and highly skilled mathematician who has had a large impact in a wide range of areas. He's a rising star and a world leader in the field of harmonic analysis and striking applications, and amply merits this award. Zhang received his PhD degree in mathematics from Peking University in 2012 BSc, and his PhD in mathematics under the supervision of Peter Sarnak at Princeton University in 2017. Subsequently, he has held positions as a visiting member of the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, 2017-18, 2020-21, and as Van Vleck visiting assistant professor at the University of Wisconsin, 2018 to 21. Since 2021, he has been at the University of California, Berkeley, as an assistant professor. The awards that he has already received include a gold medal in the 2008 International Mathematics Olympiad and a silver medal for his doctoral thesis for the New World Mathematics Awards. He currently holds a Sloan Fellowship and an NSF Career Award. And now I'll read the citation for Dr. Zhang. Ruxiang Zhang is awarded the 2023 Shastra Ramanujan Prize for fundamental work in analytic number theory, combinatorics, Euclidean harmonic analysis, and geometry by himself and in collaboration. The prize notes that he's a highly skilled mathematician with large impact and a wide range of ideas. The prize especially recognizes his Princeton PhD thesis and its further development by Zhang and Shuangmin Guo in an important paper in Invenciones Mathematica in 2019, in which a multivariable generalization of the main conjecture regarding bounds in Vinogrado's mean value theorem is proved. The prize notes that the Guo-Zhang generalization gives bounds on the number of solutions to the partial Vinogrado systems of Diophantine equation, and that this has many new applications to a variety of areas. The prize also recognizes Zhang's 2019 Annals of Mathematics paper with Xiumin Du, in which, introducing novel techniques, they settle in all dimensions a question raised in 1979 by Carlson regarding the exact range of the Sobolev exponent for which every solution to the Schrodinger equation converges to the initial data as time tends to zero. Finally, the prize recognizes yet another paper in the Annals of Mathematics in 2020, in which Zhang, in collaboration with Larry Guth and Wang, solved the case in 3 dimensions of a major 1990 local smoothing problem of Christopher Sage regarding bounds for the Sobolev norms of solutions from the initial data. Thus, the prize notes that Zhang is a rising star in the field of harmonic analysis and that his work has wide and striking applications.
May I invite Dr. Ragxing Zhang, University of California, USA, the winner of Sastra Ramanujan Award for the year 2023, to deliver the acceptance speech.
It's an incredible honor to be awarded the 2023 Sastra Ramanujan Prize, and I really thank the prize committee, and this is really incredible honor. And I would also like to thank the organizers of this conference on the occasion of Ramanujan's birthday. And it has been an incredible journey, very unforgettable so far. It's great to know that Ramanujan's deep and rich math work has been influencing generations after generations of mathematicians, and has been taken to a new height by the speakers we've seen in the conference. So really amazing experience here at the hometown of Ramanujan. And finally, I would like to thank my first mentors, my teachers and professors when I grew up, especially to my PhD thesis advisor, Professor Peter Sarnak, who inspired me a lot in math. And I was very lucky, as you heard, to have many good friends and collaborators, and also special thanks to my family. You're all very important, and thanks for all being always supportive, inspiring me to do math. So thank you, and I'm sure this will inspire me further.
Thank you, sir. Dr. T. Ramaswamy, former Secretary, DST, Government of India, New Delhi, is now invited to deliver the chief guest address.
Very good morning. My esteemed friend, Dr. Swaminathan, Professor Krishnasamy Alladi, the two Ramanujan Prize winners, my namesake, Dr. Ramaswamy, the Dean, participants into this wonderful conference from all over the world, represent the media, and my dear very friends. Once again, very good morning to all of you. Before I start my address, let me first of all thank Shastra for this wonderful message defining initiative. This is not just a prize to commemorate the contributions of Ramanujan. It's something much more than that. I'll tell you why I said what I said. It's interesting that I come to know the genesis of this prize from the address of my dear friend, Professor Alladi. And that provides a message by itself. Here is an university which has initiated this international prize system to commemorate the contributions of Ramanujan. But Ramanujan is gone. But essentially what we are celebrating is contributions he has made and the manner in which that contribution stimulate further research among the younger people. Then he also gave the logic of under 32 age, because 32 is, to me, is kind of looked odd. But then he has narrated why 32. Then he also said, the suggestion was made by my dear friend Sethuraman in his own years that he wishes to establish this $10,000 award. And then the process he continued. Now I'll share with you something more. It turned out that there was a Ramanujan Prize, there's still a Ramanujan Prize given by ICTP in Association of International Union of Mathematics. And it turned out that by 2005 it started, by 2012 it dried out, the source money. Then we took it upon ourselves, the Department of Science and Technology, to commit for the next 10 years. That ends up with this year. And we have to now fix an amount. And of course, the people who are suggesting that mathematicians don't need money. It's an interesting concept. So the money amount they were giving us very small. And the government is going to fund. I quoted Shastra's $10,000 and said, this will be a $10,000 fund. So that Ramanujan Prize given by ICTP is also $10,000 because the message was given by this prize that is being done today. Of course, for people like us, this is not just a conference, it's a pilgrimage. It's a nice word used. I think all of us who value knowledge look at centers which are centers of knowledge, and those of them who worship knowledge, they look at them as a pilgrimage. Kumbhakonam is a very special place for us, especially for mathematics, not only because of Ramanujan. It turns out some of the most famous mathematicians of this country all came from a radius of about 50 kilometers around Kumbhakonam. So it's a very, something about the year here, I suppose. It turns out that the 22nd December, that we declared as National Mathematics Day, which we did, and I think my friend Swaminathan illustrated the history behind it. From 2012, the whole country observed this day as National Mathematics Day. And there were always, government has very clever men to stop things, not do things. So there was a very clever joint secretary or additional secretary from home. Who should we celebrate the birthday of a scientist? When Ramanujan's birthday was proposed, we are not celebrating. Somehow it is believed that the endowment of Indians in mathematics, natural endowment, is reasonably high. But for want of celebrating that talent, nourishing this talent, we are becoming a nation which is losing its privacy. So when you declare something as a National Mathematics Day and align the thoughts of the entire society towards this process, and how do we build, finally it's not really notified by the government. But on this day, the last 4 years, 3 years actually, what we have been doing is to celebrate the centenaries of all scientists of this country at a national space, and then do it in different places. And that we chose to be 22nd December because that also brings Dr. Ramanujan's work in the front center. It's we are doing it in Delhi and primarily with the government. I'm very happy that Swaminathan suggested that they would like to partake that in this course of time. I think we might relocate that center to perhaps Kumbakonam, call this place. I don't think for our scientists, the access to the town is important. And I'm sure Dr. Alladi comes wherever he comes on 20th December because this place is important. And I'm very delighted that two of our young people, Dr. Tang and Dr. Zhang, received this Ramanujan Prize this year. And in this, I must thank again Dr. Swaminathan and Shastra for giving me an opportunity to be a witness to this, more than thinking giveaway. I call this a blessing. Thank you very much, Dr. Ramanujan, for this special opportunity. One would ask, by observing this day as National Mathematics Day, what do we aim to get? Is it a celebration of science? Is it a celebration of mathematics? Or is it something more? It turns out that for people like Ramanujan, mathematics was life. I don't think it was a discipline that he pursued. He communicated himself through mathematics. For him, mathematics was a language by itself. It is not a branch of science. It turns out that many young people in this country have ability to do good mathematics. But somehow, the manner in which mathematics is taught in the school or in the higher education, there seems to be a sort of repulsion. There's a fear of mathematics. And it's sad that in this country, with especially the city Ramanujan, was a master of numbers, somehow the younger people today have a fear for numbers. They seem to think that everything will be done by the calculator or computers and so on. I think it is really requested of all the mathematicians to work towards the manner in which the fear of mathematics is overcome among the younger learners. That's a reality today. And it turned out that I was in an airport in Amsterdam, and this guy was booking my ticket. And he said, "You are from India?" I said, "Yes." "How come you fellows are good in mathematics?" Then I said, "I don't know whether I'm good in mathematics, but I'm an Indian, all right. But this is written in our cultural legacies. The concept of zero, when you read Ramanujan know the infinity, the man who knew the infinity, and so on. But I believe it is necessary for institutions like Shastra and almost all the educational enterprises to really make mathematics learning a joy rather than the fear that they go through." I request both these award winners that they have really promote the concept of mathematics, the joy of learning mathematics, if wherever they would like to be associated. Because that's, I think, to me, mathematics is not a subject that we learn for making a living. The mathematics is a subject that we make our life happy. Therefore, I'm very delighted that you gave me an opportunity to be here, and I wish both these young mathematicians very best success in their lives, and let me wish that they win further medals and mathematics prizes. I hope to see them Nobel Prize winners in some point of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for inspiring, thought-provoking speech, which I'm sure will linger in the minds of the young budding mathematicians present over here. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. To express our deep sense of gratitude in full-throated ease with words of learned length, I invite Dr. V. Ramaswamy, Dean, Srinivasa Ramanujan Center.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Shastra Deemed University and on my own behalf, it gives me immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks. 19th Annual International Conference on Srinivasa Ramanujan has almost come to an end, and we are eagerly looking forward to the lecture by an awardee of this year. There are many people who have contributed to the success of this conference and hence to be thanked. At the outset, I would like to express our sincere thanks to Professor Krishnaswamy Alladi, who has been involved with identifying the most suitable mathematician for this award year after year. One distinguishing feature this year is that we have many young mathematicians from USA, Germany, Austria, and other countries, without whose presence this conference would not have been a success. My heartfelt thanks to every one of them individually. Special mention should be made about Dr. Yunqing Tang and Dr. Yuxiang Sang from University of California, who are the Shastra Ramanujan Award winners for 2022 and 2023 respectively. I wish both of them win Fields Medal, as it has happened with few Shastra Ramanujan awardees earlier. Sincere thanks to Dr. T. Ramaswamy, former Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, who readily accepted our invitation and gave away Shastra Ramanujan Awards to the two awardees, besides giving a wonderful talk. Sincere thanks to our Honorable Chancellor, Professor R. Seduraman, who is instrumental in instituting the Sastra Ramanujan Award. Sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Vaidya Subramaniam and Professor S. Swaminathan for all their support. Thanks to print and electronic media. During the inaugural of Professor Alladi Ramakrishnan Centenary Conference, Infosys co-founder N.R. Narayanamurthy asked a very pertinent question: why no Indian resident has ever won an Nobel Prize or Fields Medal? We all need to ponder over this. We sincerely hope the day is not far when resident Indians will win Sastra Ramanujan Award as well as Nobel Prize and Fields Medal. Wishing everyone very happy and prosperous 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Zhang, the winner of prestigious Sastra Ramanujan Award for the year 2023, will deliver commemorative lecture sharp at 11 o'clock. May I request the dignitaries and others to be present over here sharp at 11. Now I request the audience to stand in their respective places as token of respect till the dignitaries leave the hall. So another request to the speakers, please assemble over there near the bust of Srinivasa Ramanujan at the entrance for photo session.